Did you have any idea that NASA's New Horizons shuttle furnished us with the first close-up pictures of Pluto ever taken? Before that, nobody truly knew what this planet looked like. These most recent pictures of the planet were both exciting and stunning, while surprising, because the pictures showed a scene that no one had expected to see. For the first time, Pluto turned out to be a living, dynamic world, not a dead stone world. This planet shows such clear geographical movement that there might even be some type of life. New Horizons gave pictures of a surprisingly complicated and dynamic world, with a startling assortment of scenes. The best news for all Pluto fans is that after these pivotal revelations, Pluto's return to the status of an official planet is practically relentless. Pluto turned out to be very different from what was previously expected. The new discoveries have not just shocked the academic community, but have also raised new questions about Pluto's development and its possible internal processes. Especially great was the absence of impact craters across much of the surface, suggesting that Pluto is geographically much more dynamic than anyone had ever thought. In July 2015, after almost a decade on the way, NASA's New Horizons spacecraft finally reached the edge of the planetary system and gave us the very first close-up pictures of Pluto. The probe had been launched in 2006 to take the first detailed photos of the dwarf planet Pluto and its moons. Imagine that before New Horizons arrived, we had no real picture of Pluto at all. Not even the Hubble Space Telescope was able to picture Pluto sharply. The planet was too far away from one side and too small on the other, and it was hidden in such a dark part of the nearby solar system that it was practically impossible for the world's best telescopes, like ALMA or the European Very Large Telescope, to capture Pluto properly. Before the New Horizons mission, Pluto was just visible to scientists as a tiny, blurry dot in the sky. But after the mission of the century, our picture of Pluto changed dramatically. New Horizons was specially designed to explore Pluto and was equipped with the latest technology for the task. The long journey to the trans-Neptunian areas paid off handsomely, as the spacecraft was equipped with a high-resolution camera called LORRI, as well as spectrometers and particle detectors. The spacecraft was able not only to take exceptional photographs but also to thoroughly examine the surface and atmosphere of Pluto. Despite the enormous distance of around 5 billion kilometers from Earth, the LORRI camera system was able to provide incredibly sharp pictures. What made this mission so unique was not only the long travel time but also the very short time span in which New Horizons passed Pluto. What not many people know is that the probe sped past the planet at around 50,000 kilometers per hour and only had a few hours to collect significant pictures and data. After that, the probe continued on to Charon, Pluto's moon, and to some trans-Neptunian objects. Pluto turned out to be full of surprises. While it was always clear that Pluto was a real planet, it remained a mystery for quite some time what this planet was really made of. Scientists expected that it was an uninteresting world of rock, what was thought to be a dead dwarf planet. It turned out to be a dynamic world filled with active geological cycles. The pictures that New Horizons sent to Earth revealed a stunning array of designs and surface features that show a world that is anything but static. One of the most striking pictures shows the ice mountains of Pluto, huge piles of water ice up to 35 kilometers high rising in the planet's extreme environment. A famous picture from New Horizons shows one of these gigantic mountain ranges extending across the surface like a cold version of the Rocky Mountains. But here, the mountains are believed to be made of pure water ice and contain no known rock. The absence of craters in that area is seen by scientists as a strong indication that the mountains have only recently formed. This is another sign of ongoing geological movement. The general concept that Pluto was structurally dynamic in the recent past turns researchers' past assumptions about this planet completely on their head. Another famous picture shows the enormous plain known as Sputnik Planitia. This smooth, nearly crater-free region stretches for many kilometers and is composed primarily of frozen nitrogen. The pictures show the obvious polygonal designs on the surface, which are a result of convection currents in the ice below. In particular, the smooth, constantly replenishing surface of Sputnik Planitia further suggests that previously unknown dynamic processes are occurring beneath the ice layer in the plain. These processes are likely driven by internal heat, and this could truly mean that there is a liquid sea beneath Pluto's surface. Another amazing picture shows us cryovolcanoes on the planet. These icy volcanoes eject frozen material such as water ice, methane ice, or nitrogen ice, instead of magma. The pictures show huge hills and peaks towering over the surface, suggesting that some form of volcanism still exists on Pluto, albeit in frozen form. Cryovolcanism was interpreted as another sign that Pluto is hotter at its core than we previously thought, and that volcanism supports the theory of a liquid sea beneath the surface. After New Horizons' first pictures arrived, Pluto became known as the planet with a heart. The heart consists of two distinct parts. The left side is Sputnik Planitia, the vast nitrogen plain that we've already seen, while the right side is a more mountainous, cratered, and much harsher region. This picture, which shows Pluto in a previously unknown and surprisingly active form, became one of the most famous images of the entire New Horizons mission and brought Pluto back into the global spotlight. Some of the spacecraft's pictures also show detailed views of Pluto's moons, especially Charon, the largest moon. The pictures of Charon also revealed something amazing. The moon also clearly shows signs of geological activity. Pictures of deep valleys and craters on the surface suggest that this moon is also more complex than scientists had previously thought. The pictures from New Horizons not only revealed Pluto's astounding topography but also introduced the planet's aesthetic beauty to millions of scientists and space enthusiasts. Nearly every picture taken by the probe revealed new surprises and insights that went far beyond what science had previously expected. A probe is investigating Pluto's seas. What an unexpected discovery! Pluto also has water and potentially even an ocean. Just 20 years ago, scientists thought that water was a rarity on other planets. We knew of the scorching planet Venus, where there is no trace of water, and we investigated the seemingly dust-dry planet Mars, which, in fact, has only a small amount of water vapor in the nearby atmosphere. But over time, water turned up in the outer reaches of the solar system, first in the frozen moons of Jupiter and Saturn, and eventually in other places in the distant solar system. The discoveries of water and ice just keep becoming more charming. The revelation of the chance of an underground sea far beneath the cold surface of Pluto is another surprising and astonishing finding. Pluto, as a distant body at the edge of the solar system, was for a long time considered frozen and geographically dead. However, data gathered by the probe increasingly suggests that a liquid water sea might exist under Pluto's thick hydrogen ice layer. The hypothesis of the sea on Pluto is based on several signs. One of the strongest signs is the absence of large craters on Pluto, particularly in the Sputnik Planitia area. This suggests that the surface is relatively young and is continually recharged by convection flows in the ice. Heat would be expected for this movement of the surface, which could arise from an underground sea. The presence of cryovolcanoes also supports the hypothesis. Pluto must be hotter inside than previously thought, and this heat could arise from the decay of radioactive elements in the dwarf planet's interior. Strong gravitational interactions with Pluto's moon, Charon, are also possible. Pluto and its moon orbit one another so closely that scientists suspect the two may actually form a double-planet system. At present, it's considered rather unlikely that higher life exists on Pluto, but microscopic life forms or simple plants, such as algae, could potentially exist. This possibility is currently prompting NASA and the international community of planetary scientists to develop new probe systems to study Pluto's icy sea more closely in the future. Pluto is by no means the only place in the solar system where an underground sea is suspected. Some of the most well-known candidates are the moons of giant planets. One particular example is Europa, one of Jupiter's largest moons. Europa is completely covered by an ice shell, beneath which scientists suspect a liquid sea with a high likelihood of existence. This sea could be kept warm enough by Jupiter's tidal forces, which heat the moon's interior to support liquid water. NASA's Europa Clipper mission, which aims to learn more about Europa's life-supporting sea, is scheduled to launch during the 2020s. Saturn's moon Enceladus is also considered a promising candidate for an underground sea. Enceladus even ejects geysers into space, breaking through cracks in the moon's icy surface. These fountains provide direct evidence of an underground expanse of liquid water warmed by similar geothermal processes. During its mission, the Cassini spacecraft took detailed images of these geysers and even found signs of organic molecules, which also fuels the possibility of organic life beneath the moon's surface. Will Pluto be a planet in the future? Whether or not Pluto will become a planet again is indeed a complex issue. This is because Pluto was never anything but a planet. Its downgrade to a dwarf planet in 2006 was based on several reasons that have since been criticized. New Horizons successes, however, have shown that Pluto is geologically active, has a complex atmosphere, and may even harbor an underground sea. Such qualities are more typical of planets than of simple dwarf planets. For many scientists, Pluto is, therefore, much more than a trans-Neptunian object. It shows a variety that distinguishes it as a fully fledged planet. Pluto's return to the ranks of the true and official planets could, therefore, be inevitable.